me go ahead and queue up Dark while I can let some people know we're here. Alright, the right answer, the orange Gatorade corner, definitely Flava Flav. And, shit, I don't remember the name of the sumo girl from KOF, but she's in there. Put them in Kurikan. I'm going to queue this up. I believe it's Hinako, but my memory is spotty and I cannot read Japanese. But we're going to go ahead and queue this up and let the internet know we're here. Yeah, this is the Dark. Haven't even made my go live announcement yet. Alright, cool. Now the internet knows we're here. Okay, and where's Hinako? Cool. Big falling elbow. Mega Flav with that sweep, taking Hinako's leg out from under her leg. Just under the ropes. I'd say the Dark match is almost the Def Jam exhibition with how frequently they show up in the pre-show matches. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Massive palm strikes from Hinako, showing that sumo style. Big sumo driver. Flava Flav is to his feet. Hinako going to repeat that. This time Flava Flav not getting up. Cover 1, 2. Count 2. Flava Flav using his extensive martial arts background. Just a difficult man to pin down here. Absolutely devastating Frankensteiner. Showcasing her ability to lift opponents significantly larger than herself. Flava Flav showcasing that superior agility that he's so well known for. Hinako once again, sumo driver. And cover 1, 2. Not quite enough to put Flava Flav away. Flav going to that Frankensteiner quite a lot. Hinako seems to have an answer every time. She's able to kick out once again. Flav trying to get a good position here. But that cost him some time for Hinako to be able to rest. Big double underhook suplex from Hinako. She's setting up for here. Whatever it was, Flav able to get back to his feet before she was able to capitalize, but those massive palm strikes really taking a lot out of Flav, and lifting and dropping him on his neck is Hinako. And showcasing that amazing display of power. Big spear right into a face claw, and that's going to be it. Flav is submitted by that iron claw. Hopefully enough people have gotten a chance to come into the arena here as we welcome you to another episode of Blake's House Professional Wrestling. This is a very special episode as we were called out directly by the big boss of Nick's wrestling organization, his identity still unknown, as he wants a match between the winner of our challenger event, Ramon, with his enforcer, the Rapture. But he did not just send the Rapture to tonight's show. This is a fully stacked card of Blake's House Judgment Pro Wrestling Alliance competitors going head-to-head against Nick's wrestling organization. But before we get into that, as I mentioned, the identity of Nick's wrestling organization's big boss still unknown, and we are going to follow David on his fact-finding mission to determine exactly who the head of Nick's wrestling organization really is. I figure out where the hell I put the wrestler that I want for this. There we go. As David Clement will be going head-to-head against Nick Gage in a Landmine Deathmatch. And that match is right now. As you can see, foreign objects all around the ring. This match type, somewhat of a specialty for Nick Gage, as he is a well-known deathmatch competitor. Hopefully David will be able to get some information out of Nick Gage over the course of this matchup, but he very well may be fighting for his life. You can see light tubes on all four corner turnbuckles. Barbed wire boards all around the ring. This is absolutely a deathmatch. And right now, Nick Gage definitely doing very well in this matchup that he certainly specializes in. David is really yet to get started. And another big shoulder block from Gage. But David immediately kicking out. Big elbow to face. David finally trying to get some offense in. Gage slightly disoriented. Now both men thrown into that corner turnbuckle, shattering light tubes, but neither man seems to be visibly cut open here. But that will certainly not be the case by the end of this match, as I am sure both men will be bleeding from the various foreign objects and just dangerous wrestling that is going to take place in a landmine deathmatch. Of course, if you were tuned in last week, David fighting both Nick Aldis and Nick Miller, trying to go down his list, try and figure out exactly who is behind Nick's wrestling organization. And there is certainly a dialogue going on in the ring. Big scoop and slam, center of the ring. David setting up for something here. Springboard elbow right on the logo. And David bringing a weapon of his own into this deathmatch contest. He was prepared to battle against that deathmatch specialist, Nick Gage. Big eye raking. If you had issues with how David was starting this match, he has certainly found his momentum. Big Mongolian chop right into a body press, gets a count 2 out of it. Package pile driver. Thus far, none of the foreign objects in the ring have been put to effect. David, of course, bringing his own weapons into this contest, but that steel chair and that sledgehammer laying in the ring, neither man has really gone for just yet. Gage, big elbow to face, knee to the gut. David responding back, Manhattan drop, and once again, just going to that scythe, trying to rake the face, and Nick Gage, the first man busted open in this deathmatch contest. Count 2. And there's Gage going for that sledgehammer, but disarmed by David. Big power bomb. Gage attempting to do the same, but David protecting himself, showing off for the crowd there. David trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do next. And now David going for that steel chair, swinging wildly to the back of Nick Gage. But Gage is to his feet, another Mongolian chop. David running the ropes, big boy senton right across the chest of Nick Gage. Goes for that enziguri sidestep by Gage, and now Gage is holding a weapon. Hits him with that butt of that sledgehammer, sidesteps the chop. Finally disarmed by David, but Gage able to hit that brain buster. Being disarmed, a little bit less of a concern. Big package pile driver once again. If he goes for the cover here, this could be it. Stacks him up. Harada comes in for the count. 1, 2. No. It's going to take more than that to put away Nick Gage. And there's that enziguri throwback, trying to take Gage's head off that he's been trying to connect with for the entirety of this contest, but Gage appears to be unfazed. Once again, another power bomb from Clement, and Gage barely able to kick out of that. David not afraid to fight dirty in this deathmatch contest, and you have to be willing to go there, especially against a man as dangerous as Nick Gage when the stakes are this high. Oh my God, clubbing blow to the back of the head with that steel chair. Gage unable to even protect himself as the two men battle it out. Gage pushing David back. Nick Gage fired up, big lariat. David responding back, enziguri to the side of the head. And now David going in with that sledgehammer. This time it is Gage disarming Clement. Both men getting a ton of mileage out of these foreign objects, but Nick Gage low blow. Once again, if there was any doubt that this man is hardcore, Please banish that from your mind as a barbed wire baseball bat collides with the back of David's head. And once again, another low blow as Nick Gage is able to protect himself from David's foreign object attack. Ooh. Another package pile driver. This has to be enough. If David can get to his feet to make the cover. No, Gage is to his feet. David responding back. The torture rack, and it's over. And certainly can't tell from the back here, but hopefully David got a little bit more info out of Nick Gage as to just who the boss of Nick's wrestling organization really is. But that match will be the only match on tonight's show that does not feature a member of the Blake's House JPW Alliance head-to-head against Nick's wrestling organization. So let us go straight into that now, as we have an absolutely stacked card, and we're going to start this match off with the man that Blake's house was named after. Of course, that is the Money Blake, going up against the Money Man of Nick's wrestling organization in El Idolo. So let's go ahead and get into this match right now. And Blake still rocking that new look. Right. Certainly that new look exhibiting so much more swagger, so much more arrogance. That is the Blake Cabus brand. But he is going up against El Idolo of Nick's wrestling organization, a man we have not seen in singles competition for several weeks. So we will have to see if his style has changed or evolved as he goes head-to-head against Cabus. Big Frankensteiner, and both men coming out swinging here. I think there's a lot on the line when you're the opening contest in one of these head-to-head shows. You know you are setting the tone for your home promotion. Like, you want to be going the extra mile to try and get that victory, and both men are doing so at this stage of the match. That being said, even if the stakes were not this high, Blake is a man that has never had his foot off the accelerator. When he goes in, he commits as he locks on that Boston Crab to El Idolo. But El Idolo now responding back with some patented lucha-style offense of his own. Big standing moonsault. But Cabus able to kick out before a one is even counted by Harada. They're going to allow locking on that scissors sleeper. And it looks like Blake is trying to work the legs and back of Idolo, trying to take away his base, that he has that explosive lucha-style offense that he's known for. It's an excellent bit of strategy, but thus far, El Idolo has not really given him many opportunities to really work the legs here. Although Blake possibly going for that once again. No, just likes to get an extra strike in before Idolo gets back to his feet. As I said, neither man in this contest has let off the gas at all. And this is exactly what you are going to expect as you see more of this Blake's House JPW versus NWO show. Now standing shooting star, amazing display of athleticism from Idolo. And big spine buster, looks like running the ropes. But Cabus scrambling to his feet before any further offense can be exhibited. And Blake now attempting to get Idolo disqualified. And in the confusion, able to hit a spine buster of his own. Goes up top, but thinks better of it when Idolo gets to his feet. Oh my god, absolutely deadly destroyer from Idolo. 1, 2, count 2. Blake now once again going back to that submission hold. Now sunset flip powerbomb of his own, showing that he is not the only man to be able to do a lucha thing, but Idolo coming right back at you with your own stuff and is able to get a count 2 out of it. Idolo standing C4 as he goes up top. Big moonsault double stomp, and he possibly setting up for that again. But this time, Cabus able to roll out of the way as Idolo comes crashing to the floor as Cabus, big frog splash in honor of his Uncle Eddie. And that missed dive could have been the difference maker in this match. Another frog splash, but Idolo able to get his foot on the ropes. Massive lung blower. And Blake just possibly a little bit too arrogant. Maybe if he went for a more traditional cover, that would have been a 3 count, but we'll never know, as Idolo able to kick out of that. Ooh, an absolutely devastating double knees to the stomach of Idolo, as Blake now once again going to that top rope. And dive kick square in the jaw. Blake once again going up top. Frog splash, this time Idolo rolling out of the way. And that has created a massive opportunity for Idolo. And repeated strikes to the face. Moonsault, 1, 2. That was almost enough right there. Idolo, big Frankensteiner and combination arm and neck hold. Blake is totally tied up here. Finally able to push Idolo off. Big complete shot. Rain trigger, that's gotta be it. 1, 2. No! Idolo kicking out of rain trigger.
He sucks.
Big super kick from Idolo. And Idolo is in the driver's seat. Blake responding back, big lung blower. Trying to shift the momentum just a little bit here. And once again, another cocky cover. But this time, it does the job. And he might have been able to get 5 off of that lung blower, as Idolo unable to get a shoulder up well after Harada's hand had hit the mat for the 3rd time. And the first victory of the evening will be going to the Blake's House Judgment Pro Wrestling Alliance. Yeah, that was an outstanding match, and despite the professional rivalry, I do not want to take anything away from the Knicks Wrestling Organization competitors tonight, because that is exactly the kind of match that you're going to see this evening from the Blake's House Judgment Pro Wrestling Alliance and the Knicks Wrestling Organization competitors. But we've got a lot of show for you guys tonight, so let's go ahead and get into our next match. And I do gotta say, I'm gonna have to come up with a different name for Blake's finish than the Rain Trigger. But that will wait for another time. GK's in the chat. I don't know if James is. Give me a second here. Like, I went live everywhere, so... Let's see. So, we are putting the former Blake's House Tag Team Champions up against the Goodwin brothers, who have had some mixed success in Blake's House ring as a tag as of late. But I figured this would be a great opportunity tonight to feature some of all three wrestling organizations' best tag teams. So you will be seeing the current Blake's House Tag Team Champions in the firm later on this evening. But right now, we've got Sterling and Worzalla up against the Goodwin brothers, and that match is right now. See Blake, not the only competitor rocking a new look, as Worzalla now completely shaved head. Possibly looking for a bit of a change of pace after that tag team defeat. But Worzalla's sense of style will certainly not be the focus of this contest, as we have Billy and Bobby Goodwin walking to the ring. As I said, an elite tag team of the mixed wrestling organization. And right now, that is Billy against Sterling. It is going to be raw power against athleticism. We're going to have to see just who comes out on top. Right now, that technical wrestling ability working well, but Sterling responding back, clubbing blow to the head and a kick to the side of the head. And Sterling now, very much like the Blake Idolo contest. Oh my God! Just attempting to break the fingers of Billy Goodwin. I was saying, Sterling now coming into this match like he was shot out of a cannon. Putting everything on the table already, but we're now seeing some tandem offense from the Goodwin brothers, and that is exactly what you expect out of a tag team that have been working together. And just look at that absolutely devastating leg hold there from Bobby Goodwin, where Billy, the more athletic competitor, Bobby a little bit more technically savvy as far as like a catch-as-catch-can wrestling background. He's got a bit of a vicious streak in him as well, but that streak going to be silenced by that double powerbomb from Sterling and Worzalla. And giant swing against the giant of a man. But now Worzalla, open palm strikes, driving Bobby Goodwin backward. Bobby responding back, slap to the face, allowing himself to get to his own corner. Attempting some additional tandem offense, but Worzalla shutting it down. As Billy picks the leg, moonsault fall, Worzalla able to kick out. And just the technique and agility on display, honestly, from both of the Goodwin brothers, extremely impressive. Big arm drag, using Worzalla's own momentum against him, but Worzalla once again refusing to be double-teamed by the Goodwin brothers. And Worzalla trying to slow this match down with that chin lock, as he's been run all over the ring by Billy Goodwin. And now Bobby's starting to work the legs, trying to take the base of the big man away from him. Worzalla able to break out of that hold, and it looks like he's trying to get back to his own corner. And he was able to do so after that stomach crusher. Big clubbing blow to the back of the head. And now it's Sterling going for the cover. One, only one. And both men battling it out in that blue Gatorade corner. Goodwin brothers certainly going to want to keep this fight closer to their own corner, but Sterling and Worzalla not allowing them to do so. Big rolling guillotine. And Bobby appears to be in control, but Sterling punch to the gut, trying to take that, wrestle that away from Bobby Goodwin. Looks like he's setting up for that tombstone. He's able to hit it right on that Whale Boys logo. And monster lariat from Sterling, and it looks like Bobby going back to his own corner. And flapjack cutter from the Goodwin brothers, and Bobby once again, amazing display of power, giant swing on that absolutely mountainous man that is Sterling Thomas. But this time it is Billy that is refusing to be double teamed. But he is still in that blue Gatorade corner, and he's going to need to get out of there, get the fight away from there, if he wants to secure a victory this evening. But Worzalla keeping the fight near his own corner. He's willing to wait a little bit. Double fisherman suplex, triple fisherman suplex. Oh my god. This is absolutely phenomenal. But once again, we have seen this story play out time and time again. As this fight takes place in the orange Gatorade corner, Worzalla making it very difficult for that double team to happen. And there's that patented Worzalla elbow drop. That maneuver so devastating that Billy had to come in and make the save. Harada is down. All four men in the ring. And there's that flapjack and cutter. Standing moonsault, second rope moonsault, goes to the top rope, moonsault, cover, one. Worzalla having none of that in his own corner turnbuckle, and he grinds his elbow into the face of Billy Goodwin for his trouble. Big scoop and slam. Billy running the rope, Sterling is dazed. Shotgun dropkick to the back of the head. Surprise roll up, but too close to the ropes. Billy once again going up top. Big moonsault. Tries to pull Sterling away from the corner turnbuckle. Looks like he's not elected to go for that cover, and that could cost him. Sterling able to hit those back elbows, and now Worzalla is back into this match. That created just enough space for Bobby to get tagged into this contest. And now is a fresh man that Worzalla is going to have to contend with, as Bobby continues to work the legs of Worzalla, trying to take his power away from him. Oh my god, that absolutely devastating head drop from Bobby Goodwin. But Worzalla able to get a hand on the ropes. So we've got yet another one. The first one wasn't enough. The second one will do it. As Worzalla knocked out cold. Harada throwing up the X. This match is over. And the Goodwin brothers will win this match via knockout. And we'll give you guys updates on Worzalla's condition as this evening progresses, as he's definitely got his bell rung in that hold. But the Goodwin brothers, an outstanding display, evening up the count between the Blake's House Judgment Pro Wrestling Alliance and Nick's Wrestling Organization. But we are going to just be powering through matches here tonight, as we are going SWA rules action, as both Judgment Pro Wrestling and Nick's Wrestling Organization have very robust MMA divisions that we're going to get to put on display this evening. And let's go ahead and put one matchup from those divisions up for you guys right now. Yeah, I mean, the in-game rating system is what it is. Let's see. But, yeah, it was a damn good match. But, you want that match already in our rear view, as we have two competitors lined up in the gorilla position for some SWA rules action. The technician, Frank Vista, up against Timmy Throws. And we're going ahead and getting into that match right now. The technician, described by the JPW Big Boss JB3 as a human slideshow with transitions so effective and so numerous that it's really difficult to get a bead on just where he's going to come at you from. But Timmy Throws, a more traditional wrestler. This may be Nick's Wrestling Organization's best matchup, as Timmy Throws, certainly an accomplished grappler, would be able to protect himself against that style of attack. This match, of course, SWA rules action, meaning you can win via pinfall, submission, or the inability of your opponent to answer the referee's count. So we will have to see just where that type of match takes these men. Mount tackle, big lift and then drop from Mr. Throws. Goes for yet another one, but that double leg evaded by the technician, Frank Vista. And Vista starting to get some offense of his own in. As thus far, oh my god, belly-to-belly overhead suplex, and that has launched Vista to the outside. Frank Vista certainly came to fight here tonight. And once again, another belly-to-belly overhead suplex, just trying to assert his dominance over the ring, saying that I will be the last man standing in the center of this ring. And has had an excellent show of it thus far. Mounted punches from Mr. Throws. And Vista is struggling here. But to Frank Vista's credit, he has gotten to his feet after every one of these punishing maneuvers. Big back switch, but not quite enough, as Timmy Throws now locking on that chokehold. And And now elbow to face, both men battling it out. Vista rolling elbow. And Timmy throws responding back. I said this was going to be a Styles clash. And big belly to belly, or belly to back suplex. Tossing Frank Vista to the mat. And once again, belly to back suplex, and once again, Timmy throws the sole man standing in the center of the ring. And Mario once again starting his count.
4, 5, 6.
Vista is going to need to step on the gas a little bit here, as this first round has been all Timmy throws, and if he gets another significant knockdown over the course of this match, that is going to be a technical knockout. But it looks like that sense of urgency has finally gotten to, no. That's going to be it. Timmy throws with an outstanding display of dominance, taking down Frank Vista in SWA rules action. Like, Vista was starting to get things going in the latter half of that first round, but it was just too little too late, as it was suplex after suplex that would plant Vista into the match. And that puts the Blake's House JPW Alliance up against a corner a little bit here, as they are down 1-2. But when certainly in the case of when JB3 has a problem, there are two men that he would call to solve it. That, of course, being the Firm, Mr. Adams and Mr. Smith. And we are bringing them into some tag team action right now. Yeah, like, out of character, I thought that would be a little bit more interesting matchup, as it was, like, it was going to be kind of grappler versus grappler. So that match looked a lot better in my head than it ended up playing out. And sometimes that's how this game works. You know, that's nothing you can really do about that. Let's see. See. But let's go ahead and, as I said, Mr. Adams, Mr. Smith, the problem solvers of Judgment Pro Wrestling, going up against the other featured tag team of Nick's Wrestling Organization in the Sins Brothers. And let's go ahead and get into that contest right now. Those are your current Blake's House Tag Team Champions, defeating Sterling and Worzalla, one of the most dominant teams in Blake's House history. So there is anybody that can shut down this Mixed Wrestling Organization winning streak before it gets going, it is going to be them. But James and Dean Sins are no slouches themselves, as they have won tag team contests in Blake's House rings before. And getting a chance at the Blake's House Tag Team Champions, even in a non-title contest, is a huge opportunity for them. And right now, it is Mr. Smith and James Sins going one-on-one in the center of the ring. Both men jockeying for position here. Neither man really has the upper hand, but it will be Mr. Smith tagging in Mr. Adams, as James Sins able to avoid that double team offense. And it looks like the Sins brothers will be making a switch as well. Going high and low, Mr. Adams hit with the unblockable. Mr. Adams responding back with a pile driver, dropping Dean Sins onto his neck. Big deadlift German suplex, but Mr. Adams able to get a hand on the ropes. Big punch to the gut. And here's some double team offense, proving to be very effective, while Dean able to break away from Mr. Adams, the numbers game working against him, as he had to fend off strikes from all angles, and that allowed Mr. Smith to gain the upper hand, as well as get a 1 count from Harada, as the Sins brothers switch once again. Mr. Smith having none of that, able to switch his focus to the legal man, but big knee to the face. It'll clutch. But Mr. Smith able to get a hand on the ropes. And Mr. Smith slowing things down a little bit. He's in his own corner. He can afford to do so.
5 minutes gone.
As he just grinds his shoulder into the stomach of James Sins. And once again, a bit of a flashy pinning combination, but only getting one before Mr. Smith able to kick out. All 4 men in the ring now. Big arm breaker. And Mr. Adams a little bit distracted, but not too distracted to where he was unable to avoid that clothesline. And that big body slam, once again putting momentum in the Blake's House champions' favor. Big face rake, but responded back with a swinging neck breaker, as well as a backbreaker. Just Mr. Adams really trying to pick Dean apart here, but he won't get any opportunities to do so any further, as Dean is tagged out of this contest and James is now the legal man. And it looks like he's trying to get to his own corner. Big double axe handle from Mr. Smith. And once again working that arm, and now the neck and back of Mr. Smith. Big power slam, and so far away. The distance would have been too great for his brother to make the save, so that kick out was all James Sins. One, but only one. Still a little bit too early. Neither side really able to get any major offense in. It's all been little things here and there, trying to gain the upper hand, but neither side really able to do so. And that's going to clear out the aprons. And Mr. Adams swinging wildly with that steel chair. Going to have to keep an eye on that chair as it rests on the mat, as that is a hazard that any one of these men could get dropped on over the course of this matchup. And just like I say, that big pile driver right onto the steel chair from Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams once again going for that pile driver. But surprise roll-up gets a 1 out of it, and that is going to drive Mr. Adams back to his own corner, bringing Mr. Smith back into this contest. Now we're back to the matchup that started this contest. James sends Mr. Smith. And once again, you can see James trying to stretch Mr. Smith out, just wear down his joints. You can see the hunger that Mr. Adams has got. And had Mr. Adams not been in the ropes, that almost certainly would have been it. And Mr. Adams going back into his own corner. And big suplex from Mr. Smith. Shooting James into that corner turnbuckle. Big flying forearm. Into a stomach-crushing knee, but now it's Mr. Smith finding himself in the orange Gatorade turnbuckle. As James Sins just scrubbing his face with those boots, and now locks on a torturous half crab of his own, stepping on the neck of Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith just trying to grind this man down any way that he can. I think he knows just how precarious this situation is. Big jumping pile driver onto that steel chair. Mr. Adams definitely wounded. 1, 2, 3. But not out of this fight by a long shot. Ooh, big jawbreaker. And once again, all 4 men in the ring. And looks like James trying to punish Mr. Adams further. And also, excellent bit of tag team strategy, bringing this fight back as close to his own turnbuckle as he is able to. As he locks on that Dragon Sleeper. Big headbutt. So attempting to hit that lariat, unable to do so, does connect with that one. Big thumb to the eyes. And now once again, just wrenching the head and neck. Trying to pick this team apart, quite literally in this case. But Mr. Smith shooting him into that corner turnbuckle. Puts him up in the tree of woe. Repeated kicks to the gut. Just really trying to do that damage while James unable to defend himself. James attempting to return the favor, but no, he will be put once again into that blue Gatorade turnbuckle. And Mr. Adams, excellent bit of teamwork there, but Mr. Smith unable to capitalize as James gets back to his own corner turnbuckle, possibly a little bit disoriented from that offensive effort from the Sins brothers as we hit a big STO and suplex. And now, looks like we're bringing Mr. Adams back into this contest. Big double powerbomb onto Dean Sins. And Mr. Adams is fired up. Big powerbomb cover, and that's such a long distance for James to cover. But it's only 2.9. Amazing display of fighting spirit to get that kick out all the way in his opponent's corner. Big double arm DDT, center of the ring. And this is any man's contest right now. Big moonsault fall, 1, 2. But there is that seasoned tag team wrestlers in the firm protecting one another in this contest. As Mr. Smith able to break up that pinfall. You see Dean going back to his corner turnbuckle, as is Mr. Adams. And Mr. Smith looking very fresh in this contest. Just not allowing James to get any more offense in. Big gladiator! Just clothesline after clothesline until Mr. Smith wants this match to be over. Surprise roll up, 1, 2. Count 2. And attempts to further disable Mr. Adams, but that was cut off immediately by Mr. Smith. And James so far away from his own corner. Attempts to stretch Mr. Smith out, and that's going to be a victory by submission. And you could see that disabling style of offense from the Sins Brothers proving to be extremely effective over the course of that match as they wore down the joints of the firm to secure the victory. But yeah, I have seen that submission critical not result in the victory before. Yeah, if you're either in the ropes or if it's against a not legal competitor, like you'll still get the critical, and I am pretty sure that it triggers a limb injury. Not totally certain about that, but I think it does. But the match can otherwise go on with a hobbled wrestler. So that puts another W in the Knicks Wrestling Organization column. So we are going to have to figure out, we as in the Blake's House Judgment Pro Wrestling Alliance, need to have to figure out an answer to the Knicks Wrestling Organization streak of victories here. I believe the next matchup on the card is going to be Alphonso going up against Dick Bruiser. If you want, I can check that really quick. Yeah, give me a second. I can actually check his shit before we go into the next match. Let's see. Because I'm almost certain he would have had to have had either critical submission or have that as a finishing hold. Let me see here. So he does have submission critical. So yeah, that was what that was. Which, like, I get why you got him as submission critical, in the sense that, hey, he's supposed to be an Inoki-like. So he's supposed to be, like, semi-viable as a mixed martial artist. That's a thing I can fuck with on my own, like if I want to edit that critical ability off of him. I'm really surprised that has never come up, because I know this tag team has wrestled a few times, and it is extremely inconvenient that this is the first time that it's come up in the crossover show, but sometimes this game does that. I could have sworn they won like an 8-man tag or something. I thought they did. But regardless, yeah, I know they've been in 3 or 4 matches and they've never won via submission. But we do have a lot of wrestling to get through tonight. We have Alphonso going up against probably the first face of Nick's wrestling organization that you have seen on Blake's House TV. Of course, that is the powerhouse that is Dick Bruiser. This matchup is going to be power versus power. So let us see what happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object in that match right now. Alphonso walking to the ring. He told me before this match he's got a new finishing hold that he is going to attempt to employ in this matchup here. I think he's been working on it in the gym, possibly for this crossover show. Just have to see if he is able to pull that out against this mountainous competitor that is Dick Bruiser. Big elbows to the face. Bruiser shooting Alphonso to the outside, and it very possible this is going to be not too dissimilar to Timmy Throws, trying to take that symbolic victory of being the single man standing in the ring and try to turn that into a very real victory in this matchup. And Bruiser already showing off his power. Alphonso responding back, body slam to the outside. Alphonso saying that you're not the only one that can throw people to the outside of the ring. Not the only one in this contest that can both throw the other man around. Both competitors equally dangerous, equally effective power wrestlers. Big spine buster from Alphonso. I think Alphonso wants to reposition his opponent a little bit. Big sweep, trying to take Bruiser's leg out from under his leg. Successful at doing so. Bruiser responding back. Another one of those big gutbuster type maneuvers. And Alphonso responding back, belly to belly overhead suplex, goes for the cover. 1. Gets a count of 1, but no more. Ooh, DDT right into that bottom turnbuckle. Brought to you by Orange Gatorade. As Alphonso hits that big cutter and locks on that crossface. But Bruiser able to power out. Now both men lugging it out, center of the ring. Bruiser coming out victorious in that exchange. And once again, going to that, oh my God, Alphonso responding back, suplex of his own. Like I said, this is power versus power, and you are already seeing a lot of that, just as you have for most of this evening. I think everyone in every one of these matches understands the stakes and are giving it everything they've got. Big rock bottom from Alphonso. Bruiser just using his size and weight, falling back on Alphonso there. While there may not be much of a differential in strength, there is certainly one in size, and Dick Bruiser using that to great effect so far in this match. Alphonso responding back, low sweep, taking his leg out from under his leg. The bigger you are, the harder you fall onto the mat off of that down D. Bruiser now goes for the cover and gets a count of 2. I thought Bruiser might have been going for the cover off of that. He chooses not to do so, chooses to punish Alphonso further. As he continues to throw Alphonso around, Alphonso, though, to his credit, immediately to his feet. Step up enziguri. And another big cutter. Bruiser is dazed, but not too disoriented that that back elbow doesn't find its mark. Stunner, 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 my God, but Dick Bruiser immediately to his feet. So Alphonso has to drop him with the DDT. Alphonso, reverse DDT, locks on that sharpshooter. Shades of Sting, but neither man finding their mark with those wild shots.
Feel the power.
As Bruiser hitting with that freak accident, but Alphonso to his feet first, but he's clearly disoriented, but is able to avoid that clubbing blow. And that could be enough if Bruiser is able to cover off of that. But chooses not to, as he chooses to inflict more punishment on Alphonso, and that could cost him here. Alphonso trying to bring this fight a little bit further away from the ropes, possibly trying to implement that new signature hold. No, will lock on that Scorpion Death Drop, chooses not to transition into that sharpshooter. And this time it's Dick Bruiser going for that attack to the legs, running guillotine. And this is still anyone's match. Both men giving it each other's best shot, but neither man going for the cover. I think both of them know it's just still not enough. And there's the perfect plex. Alphonso's been waiting to pull that move out for weeks. I don't think anyone has seen Alphonso hit that maneuver, but despite that, Bruiser able to kick out. Big power slam, but Alphonso able to get his hand on the ropes, and this is now anybody's contest. Big shooting star press. Bruiser is able to get to his feet and he gets to the cover. That could be it. No, Alphonso to his feet too soon.
Feel the power.
And once again, another freak accident, but Alphonso back to his feet. Shooting star press, but Bruiser in the ropes. And Alphonso now kitchen sink. Neither man willing to give an inch.
1, 2.
Feel the power.
And this time, Bruiser, no, not electing to go for the cover. Alphonso once again with that perfect plex. And that time, it will result in a pinfall victory. Like, you gotta figure that last freak accident could have been the move to put Alphonso away, but Bruiser wanted to inflict more punishment, and ultimately that is what cost him the match. And Alphonso putting another victory on the board for the Blake's House JPW Alliance, bringing this count up 2-3. And yeah, that absolutely was a hoss fight. Like, there aren't too many of those in, like, inter Blake's House matches because there aren't that many guys that fight with that style. But I thought this was going to be a good matchup, and this was everything that I, like, in terms of matchups playing out the way that I wanted them to. Like, this was everything that I thought Frank Vista Timmy throws could have been. So sometimes the matches play out the way you think they will, and sometimes they don't. But yeah, damn good match. And as I said, that's I don't think he ever actually pulled out his real finish, which is weird, but sometimes this game does that too. But let us go back to some SWA rules action, as we do have another member of the JPW Mixed Martial Arts Division going to take another shot at the Mixed Wrestling Organization Martial Arts Division. That is going to be Nikita Stalin going up against Richard Submits. This match could very easily end in a flash submission early, or it could go the distance. Certainly, who could say? One thing I do know is this going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight between two submission specialists. Although Stalin, with his military training, is no joke of a striker either. So we will have to see what kind of strategies he employs over the course of this match up against Rick Submits. But let's go ahead and jump into that SWA rules contest right now. Lone Wolf Nikita Stalin had word from the Judgment Pro Wrestling offices that he was in MMA gyms almost exclusively for the past several weeks. You are going to see a more dangerous, more hungry Nikita Stalin than you have possibly seen before on Blake's House television. But he is going up against Rick Submits, certainly an equally dangerous competitor, as you saw what he did to, I believe it was Ian Bishop several weeks ago, where he caught him with the knee bar and immediately submitted him extremely early into their contest. And right now, there's that tactical training from Stalin. As I said, he's got a military background. While he is something of a submission specialist, he does fight smart, utilizing strikes and throws where they are strategically valuable. As he hits a big punch to the gut, trying to create some space against that jiu-jitsu specialist. Measures his opponent with the jab. It is going to be very difficult for Submits to get in and lock on those holds that you know he wants to hit here, as that is going to be his key to winning this contest. And this is nearly the opposite of what we saw in the Vista throws contest. Thus far, blocks that double leg, but submits, gets it anyway. As both men battling for dominance here. But for the most part, this has been the Stalin show, as Submit's unable to really find his stride in this contest. Big open palm strike. Punishing Stalin for missing with that jab. Stalin responding back, belly to belly overhead suplex. And now that hanging choke. But Submit's able to break out of that before Mario able to come in and start the count. And now guillotine choke from Richard Submit's there. Stalin rolling him up with that knee bar. As I said, both men deadly submission specialists. This match could go any way, could end at any moment. Somebody just needs to grab a hold in the right place at the right time. Stalin punishing Submits once again, starting to work the neck, grinding Submits down. And Submits having a great deal of difficulty keeping Stalin on the mat, which would allow him to lock on those holds, but once again, finally able to hit that guillotine choke that he wants. And Stalin going back to the knee bar. Looks like both men have picked a body part here that they want to focus on. Submits going for the neck, and Stalin going for those legs. We will have to see just who wins out, who can wear the other man down furthest, the fastest. And just as I say, Stalin was focusing on the leg, he has put on back-to-back guillotine chokeholds and hits a third. Looks like Stalin practicing that catch-as-catch-can style. You grab a hold wherever the opportunity for one comes up. Big belly to back suplex, launching Submits to the outside. And Stalin just asserting his dominance in this contest. And once again, another standing guillotine. Submits clearly having difficulties keeping up with the professional. And showing a little bit of style here, locking on that sharpshooter. But to his credit, Submits has stayed in this contest. He refuses to be submitted. Stalin once again shooting Submits to the outside. Just showcasing that he intends to be the last man standing in this ring. That action so symbolic over the course of this contest. And once again, another belly to back overhead suplex. And once again, Submits is dazed out on the floor. Submits possibly saved by the bell there, as Stalin had locked on that guillotine choke. But we're going into round two. And Submit's able to hit that cross arm breaker off of the mount tackle. But Stalin responding back, rolls him up, knee bar, finally going back to that limb that he targeted so much in the beginning of the first round. Submit's able to get his hand on the ropes there, trying to protect himself any way that he can. And both men once again fighting for dominance here. This time Stalin coming out on top and locks on another chokehold. This fight happening too close to the ropes for Stalin to really capitalize further. Stalin once again locking on that cross arm breaker. you've got to figure Submits is totally worn down. There is not a body part of his that does not hurt. Stalin once again rolling knee bar, but Submits, to his credit, keeping the fight near the ropes, making it extremely difficult to be eliminated, but this has got to be it. Too far from the ropes, Submits unable to break the hold, and Stalin, in dominating fashion, will be victorious. And I believe that's going to tie things up 3 matches to 3. As I said, Nikita Stalin had spent the last several weeks in MMA gyms all around the world really advancing his skills in the arts of submissions. And you saw that over the course of this match. Rick Submits, a jiu-jitsu specialist, was very handily out-grappled by the lone wolf Nikita Stalin. But we do have just a few more matches for you guys tonight. And yeah, that is what you dream that MMA guys fight like. Where, like, alright, somebody goes to mount tackle, the mount tackle's blocked, they go for back switch, the back switch gets reversed, so the other guy gets mount. Like, that's what you hope those guys fight like. And it happens so rarely, so it was definitely entertaining to see that happen. So we do, of course, as we do on every show, have the King of Fighters TV title match. Officially, this is not a Blake's House JPW versus Nick's Wrestling Organization match, despite the fact we do have a Nick's Wrestling Organization competitor in this match. However, got word from JB3, he's had enough of the dominance of this team and has handpicked a team to attempt to bring down the defending champions of Floyd Bartholomew, Bubba Dudley, and Alex Jebailey. So let's go ahead and introduce you to that team tonight. And yeah, it is, like, this is the Chris GK Nick show partly because, like, the three of us are basically the only guys writing the angles. Like, so James, Jamel, and Antonio have an angle they are... Oh, fair. Like, James, Jamel, and Antonio have an angle they want to set up for when this crossover show ends. I mean, hey, sometimes there's off weeks. Like, people can't be here every week, and I totally get that. That's why the show's up on YouTube, if people want to catch what they missed. But, like, this is kind of the culmination of what the three of us have been writing for the past... Shit, how many weeks now? At least 10? Don't worry about it. Yeah. Like, this arc specifically has been going on at least 10 weeks, I think, so... Like, this is kind of the payoff show for a lot of that, which is really cool. But, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this match. So, this is the all-star team that JB3 has sent from Judgment Pro Wrestling to try to remove the belts from Floyd Bartholomew, from Bubba Dudley, from Alex Jebailey. Like, A-Man has been champion of Judgment Pro Wrestling nearly for the entirety of the run of JPW as a company. The Gatekeeper, of course, a monster in his own right, as is Joey Bagi. If there were ever a time where you could call the defending champions the underdogs, then this would be that. That being said, the Floyd Bartholomew has single-handedly eliminated, I believe, 2 or 3 different teams up to this point. So, Bartholomew alone is going to be a mountain for this Blue Gatorade team to climb. Rolling Lariat clips Jebailey, unable to get out of the way, as the Gatekeeper is starting out with these absolutely devastating strikes. Clubbing blows to the back from the Gatekeeper, and the Gatekeeper bringing in Joey Bagi. Joey, of course, the current Def Jam CEO Taku champion. A man that wants to continue that momentum in the pro wrestling ring. We will have to see if he is able to do so. Big clubbing blows from Bubba Dudley. You can see how fired up that Joey is here. Of course, it would be a mistake for me to not mention, of course, this match taking place under King of Fighters 11 rules. Of course, that means that you must eliminate all 3 members of the opposing team, and you are prohibited from leaving the apron to assist your teammates. So it is A-Man and Alex Jebailey one-on-one as A-Man hits that diving back elbow right into the heart of the CEO of CEO. A-Man now shot into that orange Gatorade turnbuckle. A-Man reversing a suplex and shooting Bubba Dudley to the outside. And once again, we have Joey back into this contest. Big atomic drop right into that Boston Crab. Just trying to wear down the big man. We've seen that strategy employed a lot tonight. Possibly trying to work the legs once again, but Bubba Dudley shaking him off. And now bringing in the enforcer of this team, Floyd Bartholomew, the man that has given team after team so much trouble. But Joey looks to be prepared as he hits a running elbow right into the heart of Bartholomew. Bartholomew, repeated chops to the back of the head. Just grinding Joey down here. And Joey looks like he's trying to bring this fight back to his own corner. Now Bartholomew has a long ways to go trying to get this fight back into his own corner, get back to his teammates. stamina such a big issue for him. But A-Man doing a decent job of isolating Bartholomew. But just like that, Bartholomew outmaneuvers A-Man. And we have brought Bubba Dudley back into this contest. Harada is down. So, any attempts at pinfalls, submissions will not count. Harada finally back to his feet. And there's that deadly clothesline you've seen from A-Man time and time again. It looks like A-Man bringing the Gatekeeper back into this contest. This is a man we have not seen in several minutes tonight. And it looks like it is going to be Enforcer versus Enforcer as the Gatekeeper takes on Floyd Bartholomew. Bartholomew winding up for that precision haymaker, unable to find its mark. The Gatekeeper hitting him with that big backdrop. And Bartholomew, you know how dangerous he is when he gets a full head of steam. And it looks like he's trying to build momentum. Big headbutt. Looks like he'll bring Jebailey back into this contest. And the Gatekeeper now tagging A-Man back in. I figure this matchup is going to change so drastically whenever one of these men get their first elimination. And up until that point, it's really anybody's match. A-Man bringing the fight back into that blue Gatorade corner. And A-Man with that big chokeslam cover. 1, 2. Not quite enough to put Jebailey away, but it will send Jebailey back to his own corner and bring Bartholomew back into this contest. But A-Man, full head of steam. All the momentum is on his side as he locks on that torturous Boston Crab. Bartholomew responding back, bringing this fight back into that orange Gatorade corner. A-Man really getting the crowd behind him, something that he is so good at doing as the face of JPW. And A-Man, all power, crashing Bubba Dudley to the mat. And this is going to bring Joey Bag of Donuts back into this contest. Big backdrop. And he is clearly fired up. Standing moonsault, or excuse me, standing shooting star, and that's nearly going to put Bubba Dudley away right there. Dudley, big body slam, goes for the cover. 1. No, only 1. Momentum clearly on the side of the JPW All-Stars.
Are you ready?
And Joey here looks like he's setting up for that springboard elbow. Possibly a little bit inspired. Once again, standing shooting star, and that could be enough to do it. No, Bubba Dudley has a little bit more gas in the tank than that, my friend.
Are you ready?
Bubba Dudley, possibly one of the most decorated tag team champions in the history of professional wrestling. It is going to take a little bit more than that to put him away. And Joey trying to figure out exactly how much more that's going to take. Bartholomew now asserting his dominance over Joey here, applying that illegal leverage with that choke. And that's going to bring Joey back to his own corner and bring A-Man back into this contest.
Ooh.
Big running elbow drop from Bartholomew. And that exactly the thing that the JPW All-Stars could not afford to have happen has happened. Bartholomew has got a full head of momentum here. And A-Man attempting to extinguish the flames with that muscle press, but Bartholomew able to get back to his own corner. And A-Man clearly a little bit frustrated with how slippery that Bartholomew has been over the course of this match. A-Man taking a break on the apron, bringing the Gatekeeper back into this contest. And just all power, just holding Bubba Dudley up for several seconds in that vertical suplex. 1, 2, only 2. And the Gatekeeper caught by Joey there. But Bubba Dudley still in a great spot there up until that big body press from that mountain of a man of the Gatekeeper. And that's going to eliminate Bubba Dudley. The first elimination for the first time going for that blue Gatorade team. Bartholomew just shutting down A-Man with those big strikes. A-Man responding back, applying all that leverage, all that weight onto Bartholomew, going for that big muscle press of his own. 1, 2, 3 count fall. It is all up to Jebailey to get that reverse OCV, and A-Man once again getting extracurricular from the apron. Jebailey responding back, stacks up the Gatekeeper, but only gets a 1 count. This could be it right here. Jebailey kicking out of the Gatekeeper's body press. And Jebailey clearly motivated, trying to keep his team alive. Gatekeeper responding back. That stalling vertical suplex. Jebailey crashing down on the outside. But Jebailey's still got a lot of fight left in him. Right up until that entry to Nile Bomb. 1, 2, 3 count fall. And the Gatekeeper eliminating Alex Jebailey and getting a victory for the Judgment Pro Wrestling All-Star team. I'm getting word that JB3 would like to make a statement. So let us go ahead and cut to that right now.
Hello, JPW and Blake's House fans. While I'm sure you are all glad to see one of the partners of the TV deal, this is all to prove a point. The NWO wants to interfere with the way our organizations do business. But as long as this is our TV deal, we have no place for such a lowly organization. This resulted in the formation of the current TV title team. While these three would normally never work together, we needed a strong alternative to send a message. Joey Bagi, A-Man, and the Gatekeeper formed alternative dispute resolution to squash the NWO. And now, they're going to relinquish the KOF TV title. Why, you may ask? Because we can.
And JB3 putting his own team in that match just to make a statement, elects to relinquish the KOF TV title immediately after taking it from the Bartholomew, Dudley, Jebailey team. we are going to have to find a new champion. We are going to have to settle that next week, as we do have one more match in the mixed martial arts division. This time, Eric Alpizar taking on the all-rounder in Craig Tonga. And this is taking place in the Octagon, where Alpizar would have won the Shoot League Championship several weeks ago. And, you know what, let's get Alpizar a little bit better dressed for this occasion. Alpizar coming to the ring in his gi. Going up against the deadly martial artist that is Craig Tonga. And, like, to be clear, Nick, like, that was a... We had to get the belt off of that team, and it's more interesting to do it in a match than, hey, we just hang up their jerseys. But that's something we can kind of talk about further after, like, when we do the dark match and can kind of just, like, shoot the shit. Like, I was not expecting it to be, like, an actual squash. But, like I said, we can kind of talk about that a little bit further in the dark. As we have some mixed martial arts action going on with Eric Alpizar and Craig Tonga. So, if you recall, Nick's Wrestling Organization and the JPW Blake's House Wrestling Alliance are officially 3-3. So this match will put one of these organizations ahead of the other. Alpizar, as I mentioned earlier, he is the Shoot League champion. Like, he is not to be underestimated as a martial artist. But Craig Tonga, deadly striker, as well as somebody with very proficient grappling abilities as well. He can come at Alpizar from all angles, and Alpizar is going to have to be prepared for that. But Alpizar seems to go into another gear when he gets into the octagon. And seems to be matching Craig Tonga's pace fairly well. Tonga blocking that kick, but unable to avoid the low roundhouse, having his legs taken out from under his legs. And both men just coming hard and fast in this match. Like, really trying to take it to the other competitor. Tonga possibly has his eyes on Alpizar's championship, as Alpizar has not defended the Shooter Championship in quite some time. Not since doing so against Alphonso several weeks ago. So you've got to figure Tonga might want a shot at the title and a victory here on the Blake's House JPW crossover show. That he can get the spotlight on him by defeating the champion. Big STO from Alpizar. And Alpizar in the driver's seat here. So this man just seems to have another gear when he's in these high-pressure settings here. And that is why he won that tournament. But Tonga trying to bust this man open with these elbows to the face. unable to do so, but he's going right back to that game plan. And Alpizar just needs to hang on for a few more seconds. Ooh, big shot to the gut as we go into round 3. Neither one of these men are clearly ahead of one another. This match is scheduled for 5 rounds, and it very well may go the distance. Kami Goye! And another from Craig Tonga. And everything I said about somebody not having a clear advantage in this match, Tonga came out so strong in that 3rd round. As soon as he secured the knockdown, that match was over. Hitting those back-to-back knees to the face. Followed by a cross armbreaker. Eric unable to get to his feet. And Craig Tonga will be victorious against your Shoot League champion. Yeah, that was kind of my response to the Shoot League tournament. Yeah, he might be. He could be the #1 contender. There hasn't been a true #1 contender since, what is it? Since Alphonso, and that was weeks and weeks ago. I kind of forgot this division existed for a while. But yeah, that 5 rounds kind of a response to 3 rounds left several unsatisfying draws. And nobody wants to see a draw in a cage fight. So we figure we go to 5, make it much more likely that there's a decisive victory. But we do have tonight's main event. This is the match that we have all been waiting for. When Nick's wrestling organization came to Blake's house, they brought an enforcer known as the Rapture. The Blake's House JPW Alliance scrambled to find a competitor that could stand up to the Rapture. We even attempted to bring in a freelancer last week to try to find a crack in the Rapture's armor, and no crack was visible. But for better or for worse, we have Ramon, the man who is all heart, going up against the Knicks Wrestling Organization enforcer, the Rapture. The Knicks Wrestling Organization office wanted a barbed wire death match. Ramon has agreed to that stipulation, and we're going into that match right now. The Rapture, such a dangerous competitor, as he is always one clean maneuver away from victory. And Ramon has to know that. He has to know that he very badly needs to make sure he gives the Rapture as little opportunities as possible. But the Rapture has already gotten started. Scoop and slam, chop to the chest, back to back to back. And the Rapture now, already giant choke slam. And the Rapture just a punishing competitor. Ramon hit with clubbing blows. Big tombstone pile driver, and the Rapture doing what the Rapture does best. Ramon still unable to get anything going. Ramon trying to shoot the Rapture into those barbed wire. This time he shot into the barbed wire himself. And still just not enough to
Finish.
put the Rapture into that barbed wire. Back switch. And clubbing blow to the back of the head. Maybe that's what Ramon needed to get things started. No, we are back to all the Rapture, but Ramon still going strong. It is so difficult to keep that man down. And that is what the Blake's House JPW Alliance is counting on here. Is just the heart of Ramon, keeping him in this contest. I should point out, this match unofficially has a 30-minute time limit, as that is when the C4 around the ring is rigged to blow. If the Rapture's matches have been any indicator, we will not need that 30-minute time limit. But we will have to see over the course of this matchup, as Ramon is just getting punished here. But it looks like he's starting to find his voice. Ramon just dropped onto his neck. And the Rapture's still staying away from that barbed wire. It's going to take a lot more than that out of Ramon to really disorient the Rapture. But despite all of that, Ramon refuses to give up. All those big slams that have put away lesser competitors, Ramon is still standing. However, Tech, I believe, was knocked out at about the 8-minute mark. Ramon has not quite lasted that long. Once again, the Rapture shot into that electrified barbed wire, and the Rapture's been busted open. And Ramon now trying to slow this match down, brother, with that combination leg hold. And Ramon now getting things going, trying to work the legs of the big man. And this is the momentum shift that Ramon needed as he locks on that rolling knee bar. I believe that's that Dr. Wily bomb. And we had a near fall against the Rapture, just as we are, I believe, in the Rapture's longest match territory here. Another Dr. Wily bomb, but it's still not enough to put the Rapture away. But Ramon, he's fired up. And once again, the Rapture shot into that corner turnbuckle, or excuse me, into that electrified barbed wire. But Ramon, the Rapture returns the favor. But Ramon now refusing to allow the Rapture to really get going. Big gut buster. The Rapture trying to shift course of this match a little bit. And he did the deal. Nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. As Ramon gets a 3-count fall over the Rapture. He survived just as long as Tech did. Roughly 8 minutes 30. And refused to allow the Rapture to get another one of those big slams. We don't know just how desperately Ramon was hanging on there. He didn't give the Rapture the opportunity for us to find out. And Ramon getting the first ever victory over the Rapture in a 5-star classic. Yeah. Like, I was... Well, I guess we can officially, I can officially do the go home before we go into the dark match, and I can kind of talk about that match and the tag team match. Right. But, So, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that does put the Blake's House Judgment Pro Wrestling Alliance and Nick's Wrestling Organization at 4 matches apiece. Despite the fact that the Blake's House JPW Alliance did win tonight's main event, we're going to have to leave you guys waiting for more. I've got word David Clement still yet to determine the identity of the boss of Nick's Wrestling Organization. I do have word that Worzalla has a pinched nerve in his neck, should be cleared to compete by next week. But this Blake's House JPW Alliance and Nick's Wrestling Organization competition is certainly not over. But that is going to conclude the canonical portion of tonight's show. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and queue up a dark match while you guys hang out in the chat and we can talk about this show we just ran tonight. Let me see. Alright, cool. But, yeah, like, the first 5 or so minutes of that match terrified the hell out of me. Because I really didn't want to see Ramon getting his ass beat for 30 minutes. Because I was extremely worried that's how that was going to go. But, like, Ramon turned it around and he kept the momentum for the rest of the match. And, like, yeah, that's also a very real threat. Is, like, any one of those could have been the match ender. But, like, once he turned it around at about, like, the 8-minute or so mark, the Rapture never really got any more big slams in. So, like, it's like, okay, it's clearly Ramon's turn. And Ramon, in classic Ramon fashion, like, surviving on Ramon health, turns the fight around and gets the big comeback. So, yeah, I would say, and I do totally understand your issues with the King of Fighters TV match. Looking at the cast of characters here, let me queue up a dark match and we can kind of talk about that further. Like, I did not expect that to be, like, a squash. And yeah, it's just like, sometimes the game's like, hey, you know all your plans? Fuck them. Like, really it was, hey, we need guys with, like, the durability that can deal with Bartholomew, like, when he gets his engine really going. And he never really got going in that match, which is kind of the, kind of why that match turned out to be a squash. And, hey, Bane Cena, I appreciate the follow. I hope you, like, first, I hope you caught a majority of the show, and 2, I hope you enjoyed the show. Right now, we're kind of in the, like, post-show wrap-up. I'll have, like, a match going on in the background while we kind of talk about the show. Man, this is the second week in a row that's happened where, like, somebody comes in after the show and, like, I appreciate you being here and I hope you either catch the VOD of tonight's show or you tune in next Sunday, because we do this every Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate that people are coming into the stream, like, after the stream's basically wrapped up. But so you guys aren't picking guys out of this random pool. I am going to strike Mr. Cobra and Josh Perlman. Let's see here. We have definitely seen Carmen Electra on Blake's House TV. Yeah, Violent J is the right answer. So, we've got Shun'Ei or Minami Toyota as the options in the orange Gatorade corner. You know what? I'll give you half of that. I'll let the orange Gatorade side keep Shun'Ei and Toyota. I gotta put Violent J's partner in this contest. We're gonna call a little bit of an audible here. And let me make sure elimination is not on. Cool. But, yeah, like I said, it's just the KOF TV title match and the Frank Vista Timmy Throws match were kind of letdowns as far as how I envisioned them to be. But 8 out of 10 matches on the card turned out pretty good. So I'd say overall pretty good show. Man, that's a weird team of Shun'Ei versus Shun'Ei and Minami Toyota. I do appreciate that. Like, I know GK, when we were talking about like how we were gonna lay out tonight's show, we were kind of talking. Man, I really envy like guys like Michael Cole that can just like sit down and do commentary for 3 hours, because that shit is hard. And he's like, yes, but you're doing it, and you're doing it a hell of a lot better than Cole is. And I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take the compliment. Toyota is definitely somebody I should know more about, as like I've got kind of a casual interest in like Joshi stuff, because like Japanese women's wrestling is absolutely wild. At least like my understanding of Japanese women's wrestling through GIFs on Twitter is absolutely wild, and I should watch more of it. Yeah, no, like, yeah, the 4-4 leaving room for more stuff, especially with the identity of the Next Wrestling Organization office still undetermined. So we got plenty of room for that. Craig Tonga getting a victory over Alpizar means that he's probably first in line for the Shoot League Championship. So, despite this show being intended to be the closure of a major arc, it also set up some stuff for later. So, I mean, kind of in the same point, the Sins brothers getting a victory over the Firm, like, they're now in the tag team conversation of... Yeah, so yeah, we're on the same page there. So the Knicks Wrestling Organization invasion, still a very real threat. What I'm kind of thinking for the next show... Oh, for sure. The thing is, like, I try to have my shows be roughly 10 matches each, plus or minus some if I've got segments, or if I've got, like, an MMA heavy card, and I can kind of pad the match card that way. Like, I did not have room for any more of your guys. But, I mean, they're still around. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the WWE problem. I've got a 3-hour show, but a lot of people that I want to put a spotlight on. Like, my character has not been on TV in probably 6 or 7 weeks. Which, like, I'm cool with because I kind of see myself as more office, like, commentary role. Like, I don't want to be the booker that puts himself in, like, matches near the top of the card, because that's shitty. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think I was in a Battle Royal. I forgot about that. Ooh, big butterfly twist from Shun'Ei. You know what? If this were 2001, maybe I'd want to see Shane McMahon every week. But it's not 2001, and I sure as hell don't want to see Shane McMahon every week. Which is a problem with a lot of the WWE roster, honestly. Right. As far as I know, like, so I was actually kind of surprised. So I'd heard rumors that the draft was supposed to include NXT, and maybe, like, that was an idea and they decided, no, we don't want to do that. But I feel like with NXT being on cable, that would have made sense. Hey, we have 3 major shows instead of 2. But that's not what they did. But honestly, I would rather have Cesaro on NXT, where the creative's going to be better, his quality of opponents are going to be better. Like, he can be the star of NXT instead of, instead of, like, hidden on the lower mid card if he's on TV at all on the main roster. Well, on Raw, SmackDown. Yeah, like, that I'm kind of okay with. Provided that there gets to be a little bit more crossover between cruiserweights and non-cruiserweights. Because, like, that was the only thing I didn't really like about 205 Live is, cool, you've got a cruiserweight division, but, like, let those guys compete for other titles, because there's, like, so much more stuff they could be doing. Yeah. Man, I hope that WWE, like, really gets behind Ali. Ooh, man. Shun'Ei missing with that diving guillotine. Because Ali is such a good promo. Like, he is so good at getting the crowd behind him. Damn good wrestler, too. That being said, like, I don't know how much stake I've really gotten WWE when I haven't watched any of their programming in months. Like, ever since I started doing this on Sundays, I haven't been watching their pay-per-views. And I don't have cable, so I can't even watch NXT anymore. At least not live. So, kind of out of the loop as far as, like, what's actually on WWE TV. Oh yeah, I forgot that he had a brief run in NXT UK. Big sandwich lariat. Shotgun dropkick. And watching this reminds me of that, like, brief window where one of the updates just turned cut play off and all my tag team matches look shitty for a few weeks. It's like, man, this game is totally different with that turned on or off. Cut play is like the ability to leave the apron and break up pinfalls and submissions. Like, I turn it off for the KOF TV title because, like I say it in the rules of the match every time. Like, so King of Fighters 11 was a, like, I believe it's the only King of Fighters game where you could tag in and out, because otherwise. Alright, catch you later, GK. Because otherwise, like, the way those games work is you can eliminate a character and then the next one comes in and, like, it starts a new match. But KOF 11's like, yo, we're gonna do whatever we want, and you can, like, free tag characters in and out. So kind of the idea is the first few matches were, like, of that championship were KOF teams. So let's build a match type around King of Fighters. And, like, it just kind of became a gimmick match. Yeah, like, oh, I've already got Jordan Grace. I don't have Steiner 2019, but you best believe that they are going to be getting a shot at the vacated KOF TV title, because that team is amazing. Like, I saw a shot from one of the I mean, he might be. I mean, he's a man that manages a Shoney's that wrestles part-time. He should probably be awful, statistically speaking. But I saw a photograph of from the Chikara Trios tournament with Steiner, Grace, and Petey all hitting the Steiner recliner, like, side by side, and that was just fantastic. You know, there's no guarantee that these edits know how to pin. So, if these characters were made before a very particular time, mind you, this is like back in 2017, there was a big update that broke the logic settings, and like it basically disabled pinning unless you put that back in. So a very real possibility that no one in this match knows how to do a pinfall. I've kind of been saying whatever to it because, yeah, like, we're actually, like, chilling in the, oh, shit, some things about to go down. Big spear into the center of the ring. So here's the shitty thing about this also, is I actually can't, what is it? I can't quit out of this match because my controller is messed up and escape does nothing. Enter does nothing. To the best of my knowledge, I can't pause and exit this match. Oh, this could be it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's what I would have to do. But, Minami Toyota, the fucking hero of Japanese wrestling, saves us from this match that was going on entirely too long. But that is going to conclude tonight's show. So, as always, we do run this show every Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern. You can catch more of this. This episode, if this was your first episode, was a slightly unusual one. It was kind of a conclusion to a major arc. You're going to see a somewhat more traditional wrestling show with more skits, more storylines that aren't this company versus that company. Although we tried to keep tonight interesting and plant some seeds for some future shows, despite the major theme of tonight's show. But we do that every Sunday night at twitch.tv/MondayCindy. Sometimes I stream other things. Don't count on it. Let me go ahead and see if I can find something else for you guys to watch. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and throw you guys to Blake, who you saw wrestle in the first match of tonight's show. Well, I guess the second match of tonight's show. He does not stream Fire Pro, but he's a cool guy, and I'm going to go ahead and send him some views. Let's see. And hope to catch you guys next week, and if I end up doing something any other time, that's cool too. See you guys later on.